Hi, Taurus Sun and Rising. Welcome to your November 2022 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Well, I chose to do you second because you and Scorpio are both the stars of the show as far as the eclipses in October and November. And for you, this eclipse is occurring on November 8th at 16 degrees of Taurus. And so I believe this is going to be a very important event because Uranus is forming a conjunction with this eclipse as it is in retrograde motion. I hope this isn't true, but I feel like the internet may go down. I'm not saying that it would do so by accident necessarily, but just this sudden, unplugging of the way we live in our life, because in the United States, this is occurring on election day. And so that is particularly dependent on technology and things like that. And there could be some sort of, what would you call, like sabotage, things like that. And so that could create a lot of chaos. But I'm not a mundane astrologer, so I won't speak too much on that. I'm just saying that this can be quite memorable. However, we have to keep in mind that eclipse action is not just on the date that it occurs. It can be a month ahead of time. So as I record this in the month of October, and I can't believe that this is actually mid-October now. It could show up actually even at this time. It could happen in the month of October and not necessarily November. But I just wanted to bring that out because for Taurus, you've had Uranus transing your sign for a few years now. I can't remember when Uranus went into Taurus, but it's been a while. And Taurus is a fixed sign. I was going to use the word stodgy. I have Taurus rising. And there's something about Taurus that's like a rock, which can be very great when other people are flipping out, having their crises points. But when you are trying to shift things in your life, you may just sit there and refuse to budge, or when you should change things in your life, because you love the familiar. And I'm kind of broad brushing because you may have inner plants in Gemini and you may love change too. But anyway, I think you know what I'm talking about. And so this could be a very big way that your life changes, because this is first house stuff. And the first house can be even like physically, you may decide that you want to change. And even though you could say it's superficial, like if somebody, this used to happen a lot in the 70s, where I remember there was this girl in my class and she had really long hair, like down to her butt, just one length. And I don't know if it was junior high or high school, and then she cut it like above her shoulders. And it was so freaky because it was just like a part of who she was. It was very hippie-ish. And so there are like men who might have like these big long beards and they decide to go clean shaven or something. And I know that's just the physical appearance, but the first house is the body. So, and you might just have a sudden urge to do it, and you go with that urge, even though normally you would resist it. And for Taurus rising, this could be especially true where you are resistant to change your look. So if somebody has their rising sign in fixed energy, they may tend to have that same look even when they get older. So if it's somebody, I think if it's somebody my age, it might be that they continue to wear a certain hairstyle that's more like, using a curling iron or something than just having like a more modern hairstyle, or wearing like heavy eyeliner. that was big in the 80s or something. Big hair. Big hair. So anyway, yeah, but it could be other areas of your life that change. And it's not, see, with eclipses, it's not that you are just doing it. I mentioned something that you might do yourself, but in a lot of cases, especially if it's very important, it's going to happen regardless, and there's nothing you can do about it. But there is something you can do about it. You can be more receptive instead of trying to fight against the current. On the 16th, Venus goes into Sagittarius, and the 17th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius. I'm just going to talk about these things. The sun goes into Sag on the 22nd, and then the new moon at 1 degree Sag is on the 23rd. So then we have straight Sag energy. For the sign of Taurus, this is in the 8th house. So the 8th house is the house of alchemy. It's the house of magic and transformation. That's what alchemy is transformation. You're taking something inferior and changing it into something that is very valuable. And so there is beautiful energy here for really transform yourself at a deep level, as well as using the tools of transformation, Taurus, which involve metaphysical types of ideas. The occult is filed under the 8th house, so that can include the astrology and the tarot. So some of you may decide to take such kind of courses or anything that leads to you becoming a better version of yourself, but especially if it has a mystical angle to it. And the 8th house is also the house of other people's money. So Venus going here on the 16th can certainly mean that there is, that you are receiving money, or your partner, this could be your partner's money, that he or she is receiving money from maybe an inheritance or something along those lines that you didn't he or she didn't necessarily earn, or you didn't earn from your work. I think it could be a gift too. So there can be some financial gain at this time. Also, Jupiter goes direct on the same day that the sun goes into Sagittarius, which I really love because Sag is ruled by Jupiter. So it feels auspicious. And Jupiter goes direct at 28 degrees of Pisces. For Taurus individuals, this is your 11th house of hopes and wishes, but also for your gains, which means that your career, the monetary resources that come from your career from the 10th house can show up in the 11th house. So if you have been feeling that things have been blocked in some way, that you haven't been able to expand your profits, you may see a big, well, I shouldn't say big, I don't want to overdo it, but yeah, I mean, you might see that there is some kind of expansion in the money that you make. And it's important too, I just want to briefly touch on the Mars retrograde, because this is happening while we are dealing with the month of November. Mars goes retrograde on October 30th, and I'm recording this before then, that's why I'm saying it in the future tense. And so this is going to affect Taurus in your second house of earned income. Now, sometimes Mars can be conflict or something that you are, you know, butting up against. So there might be something with money that is doing this for you. But, sometimes even when we don't have Mars in the second, we have conflicts with money. But one thing I will say about this is that you may feel particularly motivated to go after money. And so money may find you. So I don't want people to think that if they have Mars retrograding in the second house, well, I would say more when it's direct that it's going to do that. But I mean, even retrograding, I feel like there might be something that you do now that when Mars goes direct January 12th and beyond, that you're able to see these results play themselves out, like you set yourself up for something to occur. So I would prefer to look at it more positively, because Mars retrograde for everyone can be a feeling of swallowing your anger, not being able to say what you want to say. Gemini is about communication, and Mars is very like front and center, or even like others in positions of authority trying to stop us from speaking truth to power. There's a kind of that warrior aggressive energy of Mars, and feeling like, oh, I can't do this. Well, eventually we will be able to. And it's like once everything just kind of starts flowing, it can't stop. It's like, and Mars won't go out of Gemini until mid-March of 2023. So we'll have a couple of months of just, I was going to say verbal diarrhea. No, I'm just kidding. But in your case, yeah, I mean, so if you feel thwarted in terms of making money for some reason, Taurus, in some area of your life, I mean, you might even have more than one job, which is a good thing, or sources of income, then something else from the universe may step in the form of Venus in the 8th house. So somebody, may give you money, or your spouse may get some kind of a boost. So remember, this is only your chart. So if you have a partner, their money situation is directly connected to yours anyhow. So anyway, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, I do all kinds of readings. I do life path, natal chart interpretations, love readings, but I have a package deal of 2 readings. It's a very good discount by buying 2 of them. An hour of natal chart interpretation and an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months, called my deep dive reading. I have another package deal with the tarot, called the whole enchilada. You can find out this information at the link below. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.